Hi, welcome. I'm Dennis,
And I'm Chelsea.
and we are going to be doing a number of videos where we're going to be talking about the really exciting roles that we have. So I'm Dennis Cruz, I'm the CISO of Holland and Barrett.
And I'm Chelsea Foster, and I am the Resource and Business Partner for Tech.
So we have a really amazing set of jobs that we are opening up. These are a great opportunity to join a really exciting company, a really exciting team, and we're trying to find the right person, that individual that is a perfect fit for this. So the first job we're going to talk about
Is the Head of Incident Response. So, do you want to kind of tell us what that's all about?
Yes, so incident response is fundamentally is the area that handles any sort of kind of cybersecurity incident, which these days also evolves into usually business incidents across the business. And my view on incidents is that incidents are an amazing opportunity to test everything you have and to drive innovation and to fix things. So the reality is that in a lot of organizations, incident is very reactive, where something happens, then you do an incident and you almost try to get rid of it as fast as possible. Where, my teams, I always push them to actually handle even mid-sized incidents as quite serious incidents, because by design, it means that we don't have a playbook. We don't have automation. Something happened that we were not expecting. And the whole idea here is to really create an environment where we are very proactive and we are able to really react very well to anything that happens throughout the business and having maximum visibility into this. So this role is fundamentally a role that is going to lead that. And one of the areas that we're trying to get into is diversity.
Yeah, so in this role, we are definitely going to be looking for, I guess, a wide range of candidates. So, Dennis, what kind of candidates are you looking for this role?
So this is a bit controversial because I would actually say that I'm more than happy to hire an individual that does not have cybersecurity experience. Now, of course, that somebody who has cybersecurity experience would be a great candidate. I'm not saying we're not looking there, but one of the great conversations I've been having with Chelsea and with the team is that I really want to widen the talent pool. So I'll give you an example. I think somebody who's an amazing crisis manager, somebody who has a lot of experience in handling incidents, handling crises at a hospital, at a Holland and Barrett store,
Yeah.
at all sort of environments. That person, which is calm under pressure, it's focused, understands management, understands that incidents fundamentally is about running projects in a very short, condensed period of time with a huge amount of people involved, with a huge amount of, in a way, stakeholders, and fundamentally with quite a lot of, in a way, basically challenges, because the stakes are very high. We get incidents wrong, we can stop the business. I've been in situations where it's about whether you shut down the finance system for a week or an hour. It's important to understand those. We have production lines, we have factories, we have just-in-time systems. An incident in one part of the business can severely affect our ability to have distribution, affect our ability to fulfill customers, etc. So I think that it's the requirement here is somebody who really understands how to manage incidents and crisis. In fact, a crisis is what we want to avoid, because a crisis is an incident that escalated. And that's why the idea of diversity is that we can look beyond the traditional sort of source of talent pool for cybersecurity incident response, who tends to fall into a kind of a niche environment.
No, that makes sense. And I guess, why Holland and Barrett? Why should someone be joining us?
So Holland and Barrett, and the reason I joined Holland and Barrett is because it's a company who's actually doing a digital transformation. It's actually walking the walk. There's a lot of companies who want to go digital, want to really change how the business operates, want to apply technology and processes and best practice across the board, but not that many companies actually pull it off. What is really fascinating about Holland and Barrett, and you'll see in other videos that we're going to create as we introduce you to other parts of the team, is that we actually have an amazing project in place, because we are technology and security as part of that is really driving transformation into the business. And this is just where we are today, because if you let's get even more excited, what comes next? Because what comes next is the whole wellness, is the whole, really putting data at the heart of everything we do. And from a security point of view, it means we're going to really have to protect that data. So imagine not just you're going to have normal customer data, we're going to have highly sensitive data about me, about you, about your mom, about your parents, about your friends, about later the whole country. In fact, eventually our 100 million customers around the world that we want to get to.
No, that sounds good. And I guess process-wise then, how can this person apply?
So in the spirit of the diversity angle that we want to go to, I hate CVs, right? Just out of that, right? And the reason why is because a CV it's not a great filter to make decisions on individuals. I think a CV is good to get a sense of experience. I think a CV, once you found a good candidate, gives you, a nice set of areas. And usually what's interesting about the CV is almost the things that don't tend to be highlighted very well. That particular project the person was involved, that hobby they have, that passion they have. So we want to do things a little bit different. So what we don't want to see happening is we go out there, we go to market, and we get hundreds of CVs, and then Chelsie and me have to basically do whack-a-mole on the first 10 or 15 that we look and when we talk to her, because there's only so many people that Chelsie can talk to, and you're going to be speaking to her, then you're going to be speaking to me and the rest of the team. So the first ask that we ask you, the candidate, is we want you to send your CV, whatever that version is, right? But we want you to send a presentation or something in a presentation format about you. Sorry, mistake. We want a presentation about something that you're passionate about, right? So we want to see you communicating. We want to see you expressing your ideas and your tastes and how you select information. And initially we want something that it's your passion. So it could be photography, it could be sport, it could be cybersecurity, anything. But the idea is to see how your thought process works. And it's important that our criteria here is that this is not a design contest. This is not about who can do the best design. Of course, that design helps, but that's not the criteria. The criteria is that we should be able to see you bubbling up from that presentation. And more importantly, when Chelsie has the first conversations, it's a great way to talk about it, because you can say, hey, talk to me about this. Oh, you mentioned this in your presentation. This is very exciting. Talk to me about it.
No, definitely. And I think it's a little bit different to the way we normally go about things, but it's a good way to kind of bring you to life and not just be, I guess, what's on the CV.
Yeah. And the idea is to find that gem, right? That individual. And what's interesting is, in my experience also with, when you talk to a more wider talent pool, is that, imposter syndrome is a reality. So my ask to you is that when you look at the areas that we put out in a job spec, we try very carefully not to do the typical shopping list of things. What we try to do is we say, this is the attitudes that we want, and also the areas what we list is we try to list it as these are the areas that you're going to be responsible for. You don't need to be an expert on it, although to be honest, I would expect you to be curious about it. I expect you to be passionate about it. And what I'm really looking for is that sparkle in the eyes. Sometimes it's more interesting to see somebody who had no idea about a particular topic, and then the more they look, they're going, "Wow, this is insane! This is fascinating!" And and this world is fascinating. It's instant response. It is like CSI investigation, right? It is an interesting world because it's all about clues, about understanding, reverse engineering. The stakes are high, the pressure is high, but it's almost like if you handle a badly handled incident, actually can cause more damage than the original incident. Yeah. So that's why we want you to basically show us your passion, your drive, what kind of wakes you up in the morning. And also this is a job where you're interacting a lot with the business. A lot of this job is how to get a huge amount of teams to collaborate, maybe in ways they don't normally collaborate, but in the middle of an incident, we can't afford not to have everybody involved aligned in a particular objective. So the process is, the first thing we want to do is submit this presentation and your CV. which that allows us to do a first sort of pass into the what's it called, that the CVs and the candidates, and then Chelsea will talk to you. We get a good sense for it. We see if it's a good fit, and then most likely you're going to meet me or another member of the team. And then if that goes well, then the people that you need to meet is you need to meet the members of the cybersecurity team. You need to meet my peers and other execs, and then there will be just a final stage if you make it that far, and hopefully you will. Where of the several candidates, then we will probably have one more challenge in there for the right candidate.
No, and I think that's a good summary of, I guess, our process and what we're looking for. And I would say there's no better time than now to be joining us as we go on this journey within cybersecurity.
Great.